Hey everyone, Theo here, back again, this time to give you the full review of the Huion Kamvas Pro 24 4K pen display. So the earlier video was just a quick 17-minute first impression video where I showed you the things included, showed you the physical design of the pen display, and also gave you a quick demonstration on the drawing performance. In this video, I'm going to show you what you can do with the OSD, the driver, talk more about the colors and the overall drawing experience, and also give you my thoughts on which is the best 24-inch pen display from Huion, because they actually released 3 models, the Kamvas 24, Kamvas 24 Plus, and this is the Kamvas Pro 24 4K, and they also have another 24-inch that they released last year, going by the same name, Kamvas Pro 24, but it's not 4K. So let's jump right in. This 24-inch pen display is huge, and this is how big it is compared to this keyboard that I have here with a number pad. You can actually place 2 pieces of A4 paper on the display and you still have this much space left. Because this is so big, you have to make sure you have enough table space for the display, because when you're drawing on it, you actually have to lay it down. And this pen display does not come with an adjustable stand, in the sense that the fold-out legs can only be deployed at this angle. This is a really comfortable angle to work with. The thing is, if you want to use this as your main display, for example, you may want to watch a movie, or you may want to do some work that has nothing to do with drawing, you may want to prop up this pen display. Watching a movie for 1 or 2 hours on this pen display inclined at this particular angle is not a good experience. The good news is this monitor can be VESA mounted. The VESA dimensions are 10 by 10 centimeters. If you buy the pen display from Huion's website, you have the option to buy the stand or the monitor arm. If you buy this from Amazon, then you have to buy the stand and monitor arm separately. By the way, the price of this pen display is US $1,299, so this is quite pricey. And this is not a touch screen, so I cannot scroll. Let me just move down here to show you the monitor arm available. There is the ST410, which is priced at $79 US, and the ST420, this is a double arm, priced at $139. These are on discount if you buy them as a bundle with the pen display, otherwise they are more expensive. And these are the 2 stands, the smaller stands. The stand is going to look something like this. There's a latch at the top for you to adjust the angle very easily. This stand is pretty much a must-buy if you want to prop up your pen display. If you want more table space, you can get the monitor arm so that the pen display can float above your table so that you can put your keyboard beneath. Another must-buy is this the felt nibs that Huion has released recently. This felt nibs will provide a very tactile drawing experience compared to the hard plastic nib on the pen. This is how the felt nib sounds when drawing. So definitely buy this. This is really worth the money, or maybe buy 2 packs, because I'm not sure how fast this will wear out. An artist glove is already included. If you want to buy extras, here they are. The USB-C cable that's included with the pen display is just 1 meter long. If that's not long enough for you, you can get a 2 meter long cable from Huion, but at US $34.99, it's a bit pricey. You can probably find this cable cheaper somewhere else. The video ports are located at the top of the pen display. This is the power, this is USB-C, this is full-size display port. The display port cable is not included, and this is full-size HDMI. HDMI cable is included. This display can also be used as a USB hub. There are 2 USB Type A ports here. There is some sort of power delivery through the USB-C port. It's not enough power to charge the laptop, but it also doesn't drain the battery. This pen display is beautiful and the colors look great out of the box. Using a Spider 5 Pro color calibrator, I measured color support for 100% sRGB, 95% Adobe RGB, 91% NTSC, and 89% P3. So this is a rather color accurate display. This is a 10-bit IPS panel with pretty good viewing angles. So you can view the display from extreme angles like this and the colors won't shift much. There is anti-glare on the surface. The anti-glare is not particularly aggressive in the sense that you can see the reflection is diffused into this white haze, but you can still see the visuals behind. If you're using the default plastic nib from the pen to draw, it's going to feel very smooth on the surface. Even though this has a matte textured surface, it's on the smoother side, so I highly recommend you get the felt nib for that more tactile drawing experience. The display is laminated, so there is no gap between the drawing surface and the LCD beneath. So when you're drawing, it really looks like the line is coming out from directly beneath the pen nib. And if you see a gap here, it's because my camera is pointing at an angle. To access the OSD, you just have to press and hold the power button for a few seconds. You can adjust the OSD settings using the pen. These are the different modes: standard, gaming, movie, and user. Here you can adjust the color temperature, the RGB. Here you can choose the video input, aspect ratio, and HDR. This is not true HDR because this pen display has a maximum brightness of only 200 nits. The Mac and Windows driver have essentially similar functionality, except with the Windows driver, it has this additional Windows Ink feature, which you may have to toggle on or off if pressure is not working as expected. So here under pen tablet, if for some reason if the cursor is not aligned to the bottom of the pen nib, you have to do monitor or pen calibration using this button here. And this is where you can customize the two side buttons on the pen. I have one of the buttons mapped to switch screen because I'm using dual screen. I have the button here to move the cursor from this display to the other and back very easily. Pressure sensitivity curve can be adjusted by moving these control points. This pen display comes with the Huion key dial KD100. If you buy this alone, it's US $49. So you can customize the shortcut buttons here using the same driver. Just select the device and customize away. The main selling point of the Huion Kamvas Pro 24 is this is a 4K display. So pixelation is not noticeable. All the visuals, the UI elements, they are going to look really sharp. Everything is going to look really detailed. The image quality is fantastic. Pixelation is not noticeable from normal working distance away. I'm actually using 150% scaling here. So this is the 1440p scaling or workspace. And with this workspace, I have a lot of space for the palettes and still have this huge area to draw with. And this area is larger than A4 size paper. If you don't use scaling, all the UI elements, the text, the icons, the palettes, they are going to be quite small, and the text is going to be so small that it's not easy to read, and the icons so small that it's not easy to click on accurately. So you definitely have to use scaling with this 4K pen display. The difference between 1440p scaling here on this 4K display versus 1440p on the non-4K displays, the QHD displays, is here with 1440p, all the UI elements are still going to be very sharp with no pixelation, whereas with the 1440p no scaling on the QHD pen displays, you are going to see slight pixelation. Is pixelation a big deal? For me, it's not a big deal. I don't mind slight pixelation. I've been using a 1440p resolution monitor for many years and I'm fine with that. If you want to save some money, you can go with the Kamvas 24 Plus, which is 1440p, which also has pretty good colors. And if you go with that, you can save $400 because that's $899 versus the Kamvas Pro 24 4K, which is $1,299. Another thing with 4K displays is, you know those artworks that you scan at 300 dpi? Now when you open those scans, those files will look quite small. Is it a problem? Not really. It's just that going forward, when using 4K displays, it's best you create files at 600 dpi. Otherwise, when you zoom in, you're still going to see pixelation. Let's talk about the drawing performance. This pen supports tilt and slightly over 8,000 levels of pressure sensitivity. This is a very sensitive pen, so you can draw thin lines very easily, even if you have a thick brush selected. Lines taper very nicely, very smoothly. You can only get lines like this with a pen that has low initial activation force. Line transition from thin to thick. It's quite smooth. This is with Mini Bank Paint Pro. Very good transition here from thin to thick. Dots can be placed very easily. Maintaining consistent pressure to draw lines with consistent width is easy. This pen works great for hatching as well. Tilt works fine. And tilt with pressure as well. Cursor tracking at the extreme edges is quite accurate. You can expect the same drawing performance you saw earlier with Photoshop, Mini Bank Paint Pro, Clip Studio, Krita, and Affinity Photo. At least those are the drawing apps that I have tested, and I didn't experience any glitches at all. Alright, let me just quickly draw something here to talk more about the drawing experience. If you are actually considering getting the Kamvas Pro 16 4K, the main difference between that model and this 24-inch model is, even though they have the same resolution, with the 16 or 15.6 inch pen display, you will have to run that at 1080p scaling, whereas for this 24-inch you can run this at 1440p scaling. So between 1080p and 1440p, with 1440p you can actually place a reference photo by the side and still have a good amount of space to work with, to draw with. But with 1080p workspace, it's not easy. You just don't have that space to place a reference photo by the side. If you are using an external display, for example, if you are connected to a laptop, you can show your reference photo on the laptop. But if you want to have the reference photo like side by side, then consider the 24-inch 4K instead, or the QHD, the 1440p models instead. This pen display is massive to draw on. I realize when I'm drawing with this pen display or on this pen display, most of the time I'm just using like a smaller area. I'm not drawing like all over the place. So personally for me, I may not get a pen display at this size. But if you're planning on using this as your main display, it may be a good idea to get like a bigger one. But ultimately, it really depends on what you are looking for. If you don't have table space, get the smaller one. If you want to use this as your main display, get the bigger one. If you want high resolution, get 4K. If you don't mind slight pixelation, get the QHD model to save some money. And you can save a lot of money. You can save like at least $400 US. So that is very significant savings. And you can use the money to buy other stuff or just save your money. So the overall drawing experience is pretty good. And I have to promote the felt tip again. It really makes a difference to the drawing experience. With the plastic nib or the plastic tip, it's too smooth. It's too smooth. The pen just glides too smoothly for me. At least with this felt nib, I feel like there is a bit more friction. Basically, it gives me a bit more control. I'm actually using my keyboard for keyboard shortcuts. I'm not using the key dial, the KD100, because with my keyboard I can get access to all the keyboard shortcuts. So if I'm out in the market to buy a pen display, personally I would go with the Kamvas 24 Plus, the QHD model, not this 4K model, because I don't need the key dial, and the 24 Plus comes with a stand, so I don't have to spend extra money to buy a stand. And as mentioned earlier, that is $400 cheaper. So the overall drawing experience is really good. The lines are able to come out exactly the way I expect them to. There are no surprises. The drawing performance is very consistent, very predictable. Unfortunately, I've not tried any Cintiq models recently, so I can't tell you how good this is compared to a Wacom Cintiq, but all I can say is based on what I have experience here, yeah, the overall drawing experience is very good. I'm running this pen display with M1 MacBook Air, and I've tried this pen display with a laptop with integrated graphics, and they were all able to drive the 4K display smoothly. I think any computer from 2018 onwards should be able to drive 4K smoothly. So I've been using this single brush for the drawing, and this is how thick that brush really is. And because the pen is so sensitive, I don't have to adjust the size of the brush manually. I can just rely on the pressure sensitivity of the pen. So that is great. I'm actually not so used to drawing on such a large canvas. You can hold the pen at a very low angle to draw, and cursor tracking is still accurate. This is me holding the pen so low that this part here is almost touching the surface. This pen display has been on for 4 or 5 hours, and the warm areas are around here and here. It's not hot, it's just slightly warm. So this is definitely something you can work on for drawing for long periods of time without discomfort from the heat. Alright, to conclude, this is a beautiful looking pen display with good color accuracy. The build quality is solid, it feels very premium. The drawing performance is fantastic. The drawing performance is consistent, it's predictable, the lines always come out the way I expect them to, so the overall drawing experience is very positive. I did not experience any issues, there are no surprises, no glitches. As for the downsides, well, they are not related to the hardware. There is no stand included. The cable stick out from the top, doesn't look that nice. The USB-C cable is just 1 meter long, it's not that long. Yeah, those are my only complaints. Huion is currently selling 4 24-inch pen displays, so which one should you get? If you want the extra resolution, if you want 4K, if you appreciate the sharpness, the details, then there is only one option, the Kamvas Pro 24 4K. If you don't mind slight pixelation, or if you don't know whether or not your computer is powerful enough to run 4K smoothly, then go with the QHD models, the 1440p models. And there are 3, the Kamvas 24, Kamvas 24 Plus, and Kamvas Pro 24 from last year. Out of these 3 models, I would recommend the Kamvas 24 Plus because it has really good colors. If the colors are similar to what you see on the Pro 24, then it has really good colors. Even though it's mentioned here that this is an 8-bit panel, the thing is, with the Kamvas 22 Plus that I reviewed last year, even with an 8-bit panel, you can still get up to 95% Adobe RGB, so color accuracy is definitely not a problem with this model. Kamvas 24 is not as good compared to these 3 models, even compared to last year's model, because it does not have a laminated display and is using a matte screen protector which will scratch eventually. As for the colors, you can get probably up to 100% sRGB easily, so colors definitely not an issue with Kamvas 24. It's just that the display is not laminated and they are using a matte screen protector. So if you have a limited budget of just $800 try to go for the model from last year, the Kamvas Pro 24 2020, which has laminated display, matte glass, good colors, shortcut buttons on the left and right, and it's just $30 more expensive compared to Kamvas 24. Out of the 4 models, the best one obviously is the Kamvas Pro 24, but this is also significantly more expensive compared to the other models. But this comes with the KD100 dial. It can be used as a USB hub. It has 4K. So whether this features is worth or are worth $400 extra over the Kamvas 24 Plus, it's really up to you to decide. In terms of value for money, for me, definitely the Kamvas 24 Plus. Yes, you're going to get slight pixelation, but you get to save $400, so that to me is a pretty good trade-off. By the way, if you guys are going to buy any of these pen displays, consider buying them through the affiliate links that I have for you in the video description below to help support my YouTube channel. Alright, I hope this review is helpful. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comment section below, and if I have any updates to this review, I will post the updates on my text review, which you can find in the video description below as well. See you guys in the next video. Bye!